Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Brett Searle. I'm a magician and entertainer, and this channel I usually use to share some tips and advice from within the wedding industry and chatting to other suppliers. But at the moment we're in lockdown in 2021 and I can't get out and meet other suppliers, so I thought it'd be a great idea to have a look at some of my show reels, see what's going on in those events, and maybe share some tips and advice that we see from those events. So let's get straight into the first video.
No, that's not normal. No, the 5 minutes, don't you? No. Where'd you get it from? No, that's your come on.
So I think that's probably one of my favourite videos just because of the reactions that's going on there. Even though it's a really short one, there's lots happening. And firstly, the venue is a sort of nightclub type venue, and it's a corporate Christmas party. And I think the event organisers done a really good job, thought a little bit outside the box, so they hadn't gone for a typical hotel or something like that. And they've found a venue which was enough for about 100 people, and it totally suited the guys that were there. It just fitted for their demographic. So let's have a look at the video itself. And normally when I'm working, I find it's really difficult for me to actually get footage of what I'm doing, simply because I'm not there to get footage of the magician performing. I'm there to perform, and a lot of my focus is actually just performing. So then the footage was shot from somebody's mobile phone, and they actually shared that with me. So that's why it's quite grainy and it's quite dark, and also sort of a green tint to it. And this table had quite a mixed variety of people with it. And this one person I spotted, she had the real personality, and she was really sort of a fun personality, and she carried the table in a way, just her reactions. So the original footage for this video was probably quite shaky because it's on somebody's mobile phone, and it lasted maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Fortunately, all her reactions were caught in the non-shaky bits of the video, so all I had to work with was those bits, and I kind of condensed it down, and it kind of worked out perfectly for me. It's exactly what I want. I want a show reel to reveal the actual effect of what's happening rather than a narrative of the trick that I'm doing. Because in reality, the way I like to perform at a table is to build up a trick and build up lots of high points in that trick. So it's almost a combination of other effects all done within one narrative, and that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing the high points as it builds. And also people think that the trick is almost over at maybe the first or second high point, and that's what you're seeing. You're seeing those continual reactions and it building and building. So you see that in particularly the guy sitting next to her. What I love is that his first reaction is like wow, and then it's like wow, and then it gets to the point of what on earth is going on, and then you see in that final moment he's just totally spaced out, and what on earth. And so that is what I love about this video. It's not only just her reactions, but also next to her what is going on, and that kind of reflected what's happening on the table as a whole. So yeah, what a superb video. I love it, and just awesome reactions. So let's have a look at this next show reel, and this one is a wedding shot at the Manor by the Lake in Cheltenham. It's an absolutely awesome venue, and it was shot in sort of November time, so it's a winter wedding as well. And it starts off with a little bit of B-roll footage that I got, and as I said earlier, that it's sometimes difficult for me to get footage to put together a show reel, particularly as I'm focused on working and doing my job as a performer. So you'll see how that sort of everything fits together, and let's get straight into it and have a look and see what happens.
If you will tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream, sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Life could be a dream. If I could take you up in paradise, I suppose. If you will tell me I'm the only one that you love, life could be a dream,
So as you can see from the footage, you've got the manor house, and that forms sort of one part of its venue, and then You've got a sort of downstairs cellar bar as well, which is like a pop bar with pop memorabilia in it and a pool table, which is really cool. That's what I love about this venue. And then next to that, you've got a more contemporary area for the wedding breakfast. So the first little bit you see was in the drinks reception. You've got this group here which are just in the sort of bar area, and I was just getting to know people, and this is what I do during the drinks reception. I just get to know people, get to work out who the personalities are on the day, so then I can work with them when I meet them around the tables. And also it's a good time for me to meet the bride and groom for the first time after they've got married, and I'll do something a little bit special for them. So this sequence of shots where there's a little bit more there, but it's a secret, so I like to keep that as a surprise for the guests, so that's why it's not included. But the photographer done a great job of capturing this. His name is Clem Stevens Photography. If you want to look him up, I'll put a link down below as well. So it's a lovely sequence of shots, and then we move through into the wedding breakfast afterwards in that more contemporary area. So this little clip here was actually shot by the photographer who helped me out by just filming it on the mobile phone, and it's actually at the end of a routine. And as I mentioned earlier, I do bits that build all the way through, and this is just that extra little bit that I chuck in, and you can see that from the reaction of people. That lady there, she puts her head in her hands, it's like, oh my word, what else? What's actually happening is I've borrowed a note off somebody. I've borrowed £5 or £10 and I've got them to sign their name on it. And I always believe that if I've borrowed something from somebody, I've got to give it back in the condition that they gave it to me, and I think that's only polite. And it's one thing that actually gets noticed in the trick, that people have received it. I play up on it a little bit when they write on the note, but they actually acknowledge the fact that they've received it back in the same condition. So what I'm doing is I'm actually peeling off the signature in a magic-y kind of way. And I do it in a casual way as well, so it's that extra one thing. I'll just chuck that in there as a trick sort of thing, almost as if I'm not noticing what I'm doing. And it gets that lovely reaction of, wow, that extra thing. So that's what's going on there. So we've got a couple of still photos and reaction shots from the photographer there. And then this bit here is actually the top table, and it's a round top table, which is absolutely a really nice way to do a top table, I think. It's still, you can still have that feeling of top table if it's in the right place in the room, but also it gives that sociable feel of a round table of 8 or 10. Again, this is just a sort of reaction bit where it's at the end of the trick, and the person there, she has an absolutely wonderful personality. She's actually the sister-in-law for the bride and groom, and I'd obviously got to meet them during the drinks reception and get to know them. And the bit I like about this clip is that you can see the reaction from the rest of the tables in the room, and by using the right person, right table, I think from professional experience you can actually adjust the response you're getting from the audience by that simple audience management of getting the right person that's going to help you with the magic trick. And then that feeds into the atmosphere of the room, and you can see that perfectly here, that the other tables are noticing what's going on. So as a performer, I think my job is really to make sure that there's a nice atmosphere within the wedding or the event, and if I get to meet everybody during the drink reception, then that's a good way of then I can work around the tables, work out who the personalities are going to be, and use them in a way to lift the room and get the sort of tables sort of chatting, and then other tables will get involved in the atmosphere, and it just builds. And I think that's really important, and that is why entertainment is so important, because it can transform a room, it can lift the atmosphere of any event really, not just a wedding. So thanks for watching. I hope this video has given a bit of insight about what I do as a magician and a little bit of background about those show reels. These events were absolutely fantastic, just not because of the events themselves, they weren't over elaborate weddings or corporate events, it was just the people there and the characters, and that's what makes those events. And as a magician, if I can bring those characters out more, it makes the event even more special. I'd love to hear what you're planning, perhaps if you're planning entertainment for your wedding, so please let us hear what you're doing in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like, and also I have some more videos coming out very soon, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon. Thank you very much, and goodbye.